Hey guys, Jim here. I want to share with you right now a really badass little flipper made by Liong Mah. For those who don't know Liong, he's done probably more collaborations than I could ever possibly think of with guys like Jeremy Marsh and Todd Rexford and Brad Southard. And I mean, really, honestly, the list just goes on and on and on and on. He's an incredibly talented designer. Many of his designs have now gone into production knives by Sierra KT and other companies. And what's really cool about this and what makes this a bit different is you won't have to spend the money that's typically associated with a custom knife that he's collaborated on making. Instead, he is releasing his own production knife, the Warrior-1, right here. So instead of spending $800, $1,200, $2,000, $3,000 to get a knife with his design and his name on the blade, now you can spend $350. Oh shit, yep, that's right, $350. You can buy them directly from Liong. He sells them directly, but he's also set up with a network of dealers. It's very easy to find those, and he'll be happy to give you that information. What you've got here is a really, really compact, but still 3.5-inch blade flipper that's perfect for EDC tasks. This is a great little everyday carry knife. As a matter of fact, when he first showed me this is his #1 prototype. We were sitting down at lunch one day and he was bringing all kinds of cool stuff to play with, as he typically does. And out of all the really amazing shit that he brought, I kept going back to this and picking it up and holding it and flipping it and feeling the action, admiring the way that it felt in the hand, the finish work that was done. And I couldn't stop. He says, well, when I get the production pieces in, I'll send one out to you. If you want to make a video, that's great. We'll have fun with it, yada, yada, yada. I said, I tell you what, I'd really rather have this one. And the only difference between this prototype and the production variations, and I mean the only difference, is that the production pieces, the handles will have the same stonewash that's on the blade. What mine has is a matte finish with almost a satin feel to it. It's the only difference. So what you're looking at here is pretty much the same thing that you're going to get for $350. I couldn't stop playing with it. It was amazing to me the way it felt in the hand, and I love this particular style of knife. The way that this is designed, you have to excuse me, I'm just getting over a really, really bad cold and my voice is a little bit messed up. The design that you're getting into here is very much like what's been popularized lately with the Kwaiken styles. And yes, again, I know the proper pronunciation is Kwaiken because it's based off the Japanese word kaiken, but we've kind of all Americanized it and just call it Kwaiken, so forgive me for that. But I do know the etymology of the actual word. So if you look from point A to point B, it almost swoops down a little bit in the middle. I love that shape. I love that feel. But more importantly, the way this particular knife fits in the hand, because of the signature work that's been done here, and this is very much what Liong does in a lot of his designs. So you'll take this nice flat slab, bevel off a very sharp, prominent bevel across the top, and that same bevel will follow through into the blade. And when you feel it, it's not quite as blocky as it looks like it is. It fills the hand very, very nicely. This very deep recess or choil fits very, very well. You've actually got a nice, solid feel in the hand without it being blocky with a bunch of harsh edges. As a matter of fact, everything has been rounded off really, really nicely. Now, here are some of the things that I love about this knife for its price point. Number one, the action. It is on bearings, but it is absolutely lightning fast. It is almost impossible, even with the slightest amount of force, it's almost impossible to prevent it from going to full lock. So it's got that great, snappy action that we all really want in a modern flipper. Number two, take a good look inside of here. First thing I want you to notice is everything is rounded off very nicely. Every edge is perfectly finished. And again, this is on a $350 production knife. This is not a mid-tech, and this is not a hand-built custom. You're getting really nice details done throughout. You'll also notice you have a steel lock bar insert, so you have steel engaging steel. Very smartly done. And again, something that we don't often see in this price range. We do sometimes, but not often. Nice clean lock bar cutout for the frame lock. Nice oversized pivot. Again, it's another look that we see on a lot of Liong's designs. Another thing that I've really come to love, jimping on the flipper tab. I can't tell you how many times a really great flipper has been ruined by the fact that your finger just slides right off. This just digs right into your finger, so it never slides off. And this definitely is one that likes to be light switched as opposed to push. Actually, you really can't push button it. This really is a light switching knife. Let's start here from the tip. Get the camera to focus. There we go. Nice clean stone wash. They did a really great job on the edge, by the way. It's a very, very sharp knife. Nice detail work. And again, this is not the finish you'll be receiving on the production knives. It'll be the same stone wash that you're seeing in the blade. This, I don't know if my camera is going to pick it up, but the milled lines in here, number one, they look really great. It really has a modern look to it, but it has a nice feel to it too, like these very fine ribs going all the way through. I'm a big fan of having this beveled edge going all the way around the frame. They didn't do it around the butt, which is what allows it to give such a pronounced look to the flats. Instead of it coming in around the backside, that flat goes all the way from one edge to the other. Very prominent bevels there. Come on, focus. There we go. Two simple standoffs, fully polished. I do believe those are titanium. Don't quote me on that. I'm having a hard time remembering. When I first talked to Liong about this was over 2 months ago before I made my my move from one state to another. So I'm pretty sure those are titanium in there. Titanium sculpted pocket clip. Very, very effective, by the way. It works very, very well. Great retention, but it doesn't hang up needlessly on the pocket when you go to withdraw it. There we go. S35 VN steel, good quality steel. I gotta tell you, for a full-on production knife in the $350 price range, it's a great value. There are a lot of knives competing with it, especially with zero tolerance. So I'm not going to say that this is the most earth-shattering, greatest thing in the world that you'll ever get for the price. It puts you in the league of a high-end Benchmade, puts you in the league of a good limited production or limited edition zero tolerance, puts you in the league actually a little more expensive than a really high-end Spyderco. In my opinion, it outclasses a lot of them. And there's something I love about the simplicity of the design and of the finish. And I know this sounds kind of weird coming from me. I like a lot of very wild things and crazy inlays and Timascus and zirconium and shit like that, but there most certainly are times that I really want a scaled down, very simple knife. But it really has to be a great design overall. For it to be quote unquote naked, it's gotta have a beautiful design that shines through. Yes, would this look amazing in a full Timascus frame lock? Shit, yeah. Would it look awesome with some inlay work with carbon fiber or mother of pearl or mammoth? Absolutely. But there's something about this knife that naked, it allows that design language to speak through like a fine sports car. You see the defined lines. You see what the designer was going for shining through. And that's why I love it for what it is. I have no plans to do anything goofy like anodize it or have the frame milled or anything like that to customize it. I love it just the way it is. And I have been carrying the shit out of this knife. I have been enjoying the living hell out of it. It hasn't really cut a lot. I haven't had a lot of really tasks that came up for that. But the few little things that I may have cut with it, the stonewash has taken care of hiding all that perfectly. Still got a really nice clean edge on it. Everything about it. I mean, there's not a single thing I would, I take that back. If there was something I would change about that is I would have the lock bar relief cut on the inside. And the only reason I say that is because you have such a smooth, clean design. Very smooth, very flat, everywhere. And that really is kind of a speed bump to my eye. Now, is it a big deal? No, because we're pretty much used to it in 98% of all other frame locks that are out there. There are really not many guys that do the interior cuts. I happen to prefer that, but it's not something that you're going to come across very often. Take a look here at some of the basic things. We don't really go over a lot with my videos on custom knives because we kind of take it for granted at that price level. These things are going to be fine. But in a $350 production knife, we want to know these things. Blade centering. Pretty much dead on perfect. He's bringing the tip of the knife almost to the very, very edge of that frame, yet my finger's not making contact with it. Brilliantly done. Great centering throughout. One of the things that I absolutely love are the double cutaways here. The garage door blade stop. So you don't have an internal blade stop here. You have external blade stops. So they're stopping the blade here and stopping the blade here. And what he's done is he's designed in these recesses where it just completely hides that. You've got a great design flow going around here. You'll notice also that the blade follows the exact shape of the frame. Doesn't always happen, even in very, very expensive knives. And when we do see it, it's something that we like to call out because it really is a nice, visually appealing thing. So when you've got that closed, they're hidden. And when the blade is open, they're hidden in there as well. Great little design feature. Other things we want to look at for quality when we're talking about a good quality knife. There is no play, no slop whatsoever in the detent. So that blade is seated in there very, 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 very well. Here is your lockup. There's absolutely no wiggle, no up and down action, no lock rock. When we release the lock, it's got a nice tight pivot side to side and a little bit of torsion there. No movement whatsoever. The action is flawless. It doesn't have that, drop down smoothness to it, but it doesn't really need to. That's something I don't really think that we put a lot of importance on, but it's when we have a knife that'll do that, it's a really cool wow factor, but it's not something that's needed. It's got a very smooth, very fast action. You're going to absolutely love just sitting there playing with it over and over and over all day long. Oh, yeah, it is almost sexual. When you get a really, really nice knife, it is almost sexual. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe you don't feel the same way. Maybe you think I'm fucking weird. I don't know. Oh, see? Some of you guys, you know what I'm talking about. Freaks. So anyway, I want to make sure you got a chance to see that. I've been obviously carrying it a lot, so it gets photographed a lot on Instagram, and people have been asking me to make the video, and I just simply have not had the time. I now have my office set up. I now have my lighting and my light table and everything set up, so I'm getting the chance to do this finally. And I'm going to catch up on all the videos that I have been sorely lacking in. Thank you guys so much for the support. You know how much I appreciate it. We're about 2 weeks away now from the Blade Show. And if last year was any indication, I'm going to get a chance to meet a lot of my subscribers. Thank you guys so much. for coming up to me last year and shaking my hand and getting to know me a little bit. And I absolutely look forward to doing the same thing again this year. I'll be there from Thursday through Sunday like last year, and hope to have a hell of a lot of fun and see some jaw-dropping, amazing knives from some incredibly talented makers. And maybe Liong will be there too. Just kidding, buddy. You are incredibly talented. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here for now. Just want to make sure you get a chance to see this and, kind of get a feel for what it is and what a great little size it is and how capable this knife is as an EDC. Because a lot of people are talking about it because they are being delivered now and people have those questions. How good is it really? It's in my collection. It's going to be staying in my collection. It's not even one that I'm going to entertain the thought of flipping or selling or trading off for any reason. I really love the shit out of it. It's a great everyday knife. It's something like a Sebenza where you're just going to use it. You're going to carry and use it as a utilitarian tool. But when you pull it out and show your buddies, it's awesome. It's got a great design and it's got a great feel and action. So there's some wow factor to it too. And I think all of that rolled into a production knife price is pretty damn appealing. So kudos to you, buddy. Thank you, Liong. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I hope this is a out of the park success for you. And I hope that we get a chance to see many, many more in this vein. And for that, guys, I'm out of here and I'll see you on the next video.